thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. This is certainly a trying time for you, no doubt. I just want to first ask you, when did you first learn of this party and what was your reaction?
Yeah, good morning. Obviously, clearly disappointed, frustrated, to be honest, gutted. It's not the kind of news that you want to wake up to on a Sunday morning. We were very concerned, first and foremost, for what this means from a biosecurity perspective, and so we needed to act pretty quickly to get all the facts and make sure that we kept the bubble intact and make sure that there weren't any breaches from a biosecurity perspective. But of course, it's important to point out that we have over 900 players and officials inside our bubble, incredibly disciplined, doing the right thing. And what we've seen here now is a group of players that have acted pretty selfishly, done the wrong thing, and it's obviously extremely disappointing given all that's at stake.
Mr Abdo, this is not the first time, though. We have seen other players, perhaps not as arrogantly, flout these rules. What will happen now to repeat offenders?
Yeah, we've been going now we've all been living with this pandemic for a long period of time. It's been 18 months. We've demonstrated that we were able to get through 180 games last year, without any interruption and without any infection. And that's because we've got incredibly tight protocols, and we've got a dedicated group of people working behind the scenes to keep our competition safe and to keep going. Of course, from time to time, people do make mistakes, and those need to be dealt with. And as you say, if we have repeat offenders, then we obviously take a very serious approach to that. If we see people continuously proving that they can't adhere to the protocols, then we won't hesitate. We'll remove them from the bubble and they won't be able to play. In this particular case, one of the senior players, Paul Vaughan, this is the second time he's breached the protocols. He had a breach last year, and as a result, his suspension is significantly more than the others, and he's going to be sitting out for 8 matches.
OK, so your warning to any players who decide to flout these rules again and they are found to be repeat offenders, they won't be playing for the rest of the season, is that it?
No, that's not it. What I'm saying is we'll treat every case on its merits. We'll look at the facts and we'll do what's fair and reasonable. 2 messages. One is to the vast majority, 99% of the players doing the right thing, being super disciplined. Keep doing what you're doing. And, we hope that there are no further breaches from this particular point in time. But if we see players continuously showing that they can't adhere to the protocols, we will take stronger action. OK. These players that went to this party were interviewed by the integrity unit, as well by the police, I might add, after they were found in cupboards and under beds. Were they honest when they were questioned by the integrity unit? Part of our frustration and part of the sanction relates to the fact that certain information was withheld from us in that investigation. They weren't forthcoming with all the information, and that is why the penalties are what they are. We've taken into account the fact that we had to work incredibly hard to get to all the facts, and that was very disappointing for us.
So they lied to you? And they lied to the integrity unit. Even after they'd breached rules, they tried to weasel their way out. Is that right?
They've withheld information from us. I mean, there is a difference, and we've dealt with that in the sanctions that we've provided to them. OK. And Mr Abdo, do you think this is the last time you'll be having to have this conversation, broader conversation with the Australian people? Do you think finally now players and officials realise the seriousness of this? Yeah, I certainly hope so. Look, we ask everyone to judge us on how we deal with this. We have great systems, we have great protocols, we detect things, we react to them, and we make sure that we learn from them going forward. So I certainly hope this is the last time we're talking about it. However, we are going to see from time to time things go wrong, and we need to be judged on the way we deal with those. We certainly are taking not for granted the fact that it is a privilege to be able to get these exemptions from state governments in order to be able to travel. Given the lockdown, given the serious restrictions on everyone, the community and businesses, we take very seriously the opportunity for sport to provide some positivity, some hope for people, but we need to make sure we're doing that responsibly and safely. And I think overall we've done that. And here we are, in this particular case, we've reacted really quickly. We've done our investigation in a very short space of time, and we've handed down some very significant sanctions. And that's hopefully sends a message to everyone. Do the right thing and be disciplined.
Mr. Abdo, have you felt a fierce backlash this time? Or what do you say to those fans who are pretty angry this morning?
Yeah, I mean, we're all disappointed, we're all frustrated, and angry. People make mistakes, and we need to deal with them. We need to make sure that everyone understands what's at stake, and then we need to move on. And I'm really hopeful that what we've seen here is a good case study for others to follow. And hopefully we're not going to see any of these going forward. We've sent a really strong message. We've over-communicated to all the clubs and all the players, and I think everyone understands what's at stake.